Welcome to the Java Cafe, Java fam.
Let me show you something.
Good morning.
You mean you don't trust the police?
Welcome to the Java Cafe, Java fam.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Listen, we're back. We're going to go probably, I think this is the only one, but we may go live later depending on what's going on. Today is election day here in Boston, Massachusetts, Suffolk County. Also the city of Boston. I believe there are a few primaries across the country, but all politics are local. And so in just about 6 minutes or so, currently State Representative Elizabeth Miranda is going to join us to talk about her race and candidacy. Also, I'm aware that there was an incident or something that went on at one of the polling locations at the Kroc Center there in Dorchester. And so what I'm going to ask you to do is do me a favor and go ahead and hit share so we can get some other folks into the Java Cafe. I also wanted to share with you that this evening at 8:30 p.m., I will be joined by Paris Alston from WGBH, GBH, not W, and also Chip Guionis, and he's done some work at GBH as well. And so we're going live at 8:30 p.m. as we've done since Election Day in 2020. And we are virtually going to, I think we did a live session last year, but we are virtually going to look at the results and also chat with both Paris and Chip about a lot of things, this election, some of the nastiness of it, a lot that's going on. And so I just wanted to share with you before Elizabeth Miranda went in, I wanted to share some of my endorsements with you. I won't even say endorsements. I'll say when I leave here today and go vote, these are the people that I'm voting for. And I'm not covering all the races because in some cases I did not do the research. And one of the first ones I will say is the lieutenant governor. I know that is the backup person in case anything happens to the governor, but I'll just be honest and transparent. And so I would like to share with you also, let me just get this music cued back up here, that for governor, I am voting for Maura Healey. For Attorney General, I am voting for Andrea Campbell. For State Secretary, is it any question? I'm voting for Tanisha Sullivan. I believe it is, I'll have to check one of the other offices because I was kind of on the line. But for District Attorney, I am voting. And I'm saying now for anyone because Representative Miranda, this is not saying she's not endorsing or not in favor. This isn't saying that she is, but I'm sharing with you my commentary now, and I don't want it be too attached to any of hers or be viewed as, or, you know, as trolls do, Boston Poly, like they've been doing the past 2 weeks, they try to misconstrue things. And so this is my opinion right now. And when Liz Miranda comes in, she will be sharing hers. And so for District Attorney, I am definitely voting for Ricardo Arroyo. Listen, let me, and this is where y'all really need to share because we really need to understand that criminal justice reform in Suffolk County, that's at risk and that's on the line. How our Black and brown young people, men, and those are going to be entreated, and those that are dealing with sexual assault, how they're going to be entreated is on the line. And with all that's going on as a distraction and everything that's happening, it is imperative that we really ensure that for the next 4 years, we have someone in office who is going to continue to look to bring equity, to disrupt the racist systems that are left over and has a lot of undertones of slavery. We need to ensure that Ricardo Arroyo gets elected as the district attorney. All right, a couple of other races. Now, I will say in the 6th Suffolk district, I am remaining neutral. Russell Holmes is running, and so is Harris Hardaway. Russell has, Russell and I have not always seen eye to eye, and I've been very public about it, but I have to give credit to the fact that he is a strong advocate in the state house, and everybody knows, and a lot of pundits know, Russell, he doesn't care about the $10,000, $20,000, $50,000. Russell tries to move in the billions and millions to make sure that there's equity in these line items when it comes to Black and brown people. Harris Hardaway, new energy to the district. Russell has not had a contender in a few years, and so I'm definitely happy that that is happening. Harris, like me, is a Black gay male, and I'm familiar with him. He's an entrepreneur. His family has a couple of businesses. And so, but I am I'm sort of friends with both of them. And so Liz Miranda's supposed to be popping in a couple of minutes. I just want to make sure she's all set. Here we go. So she should be in a couple of seconds. And we'll chat with her. Let me just get this here. Okay, so Liz Miranda should be coming in a couple of seconds. And so in the 6th Suffolk district, not making any determination. One of the biggest races right now that is very important to Black and brown people, and historically it is the blackest district that has been constructed with some level of intention. And there are technically, I believe, 5 candidates. I'll start with James. I can't remember his last name. A brother I know from 12th Baptist Church. There's Diane Wilkerson, former state senator. There's also Minion Culpepper, former federal employee, housing and urban development, a lawyer. And then there is Nika Elugaro and also Elizabeth Miranda. And so I'm going to be very honest and plain. The next 2 things I'm about to mention, I don't live in these districts. However, for the state Senate, I understand that they are going to influence and vote and push legislation. And while I've known Nika for years, I just believe that in this time that Liz is the best person, in my opinion, to push through a lot of some aggressive legislation around no-knock warrants, around qualified immunity, also the work she's doing around mortality when it comes to childbirth. And so in the 2nd Suffolk senatorial race, I do not live in the district. If I did, I'd be voting for Liz Miranda. Also as a, hold on. I just got a text with a picture of someone encouraging me who I should. They're either watching me live right now, and I actually was going to do that anyway. And so in the 2nd Suffolk senatorial race, I would definitely vote for Elizabeth Miranda. And that is going to leave an open seat for the 5th state representative, which she is right now. And in that race, if I lived in that district, in which I don't, I am saying this and being as clear and transparent as possible. I don't live in the district. Hold on. Why is listen, y'all stop texting me. I know what the hell. Oh Jesus, sorry, this ain't after dark. Anyway, let me turn my phone off. I just wanted to make sure Liz was straight. But no, it's all good. I was doing that anyway. And so in the 5th Suffolk, there is also Danielson Tavares. Danielson Tavares is someone who was mentored by someone that we respect and has been on this platform and has been a very influential person in my journey of being a political pundit, and that is former state representative Carlos Enriquez, and he is actually going for that seat. And so if I lived in the 2nd Suffolk senatorial, I would vote for Elizabeth Miranda. If I lived in the 5th state representative Suffolk district, I would vote for Danielson Tavares. And so to review, for governor, Maura Healey, for Attorney General, Andrea Campbell, for State Secretary, Tanisha Sullivan, Also for District Attorney Ricardo Arroyo, I can't say it enough. Criminal justice reform is on the line. Criminal justice reform is on the line. Also, in the 6th Suffolk, I am staying neutral. That is my district. Yeah. And for the 2nd Suffolk, again, Elizabeth Miranda. And also, let me just make sure she's good, Jesus, because it's 11:21. I know she had an 11. Let me just check with her staff as well. So make sure they're good. So those are the folks that I am voting for. And if I lived in the 2nd Suffolk and the 5th, I would be voting for Elizabeth Miranda and Danielson Tavares. And so I believe that is it. There are other offices, which is the state treasurer, the lieutenant governor, and also the state auditor. And I have not done research in either one of those spaces. I've heard the name Chris Dempsey a lot. I've heard the name Mary Driscoll a lot. And from some folks that I move with and share values around this political punditry. And so that is my information. Let's go check in the comments. Again, I know Elizabeth is doing a lot of, Liz rather, is doing a lot of, my brother Wadi is in the comments. I just saw something. And so I'm going to go over these comments real quick. Do me a favor, y'all. Hit share. Nicole, good to see you in the room again as well. Brother Wadi that I just mentioned, good morning. Good to see you in the room. He agrees with me that Andrea Campbell is a great choice for, I don't know who the Womp Womp was here. I think I'm going to figure out who the Womp Womp was here. Kelly, good morning. Good to see you in the room. I still got your shirt. You want me to hold it till next summer? No, so I'm messing. Nikki, good morning. Good to see you in the room. Thank you for all the participation and just, conversation and stuff about what's going on. Prayer is still with you. Just a quick note. I had a death in the family, everyone, and this is one of my sisters here. So please keep the Winston and Washington side of my family in your prayers. Nikki is also saying morning. My morning has felt like it's already afternoon. So Wadi's Womp Womp, I think, was in reference to Russell needs to be challenged, and he is. I think every incumbent after 2 terms should be challenged. They should. Wadi is expressing his support similar to mine for Elizabeth Miranda. Lasagna, good morning. Good to see you in the room as well. Nikki is saying, sounds like people talking to me last night. Listen, so I understand there was a lot of phone calls. I got a text today. So let me tell y'all something. I got a text today, yesterday, from Kevin Hayden's. Hold on for 1 second, y'all. This is our state. So as we know, State Representative Miranda is mobile, out, being with constituents and whatnot. And so she's going to have to get in here in a couple of seconds. She is on the phone. She was concerned about that. I was like, the mayor does it all the time. So she's going to come in and join us in a couple of seconds. And there she is. And so I just want to let you know before you come in, Rep, that you got some supporters in the room here. I have declared my support, and I've been very honest. I don't live in your district, but I've been very honest in saying if I did, I believe that where we are with what's going on, a lot of the legislation that you have worked with others to sponsor and co-sponsor to push through around no-knock warrants, your work that you do with women who lose their lives when they are having children, from the health perspective, mental health, all of that. And so I'm sorry. Good morning.
Good morning. Can you guys hear me?
You are perfect. You are perfect.
That's good. I've been caught in the rain. I've been out here since 7 a.m. It's now 11, almost 11:30. I've crisscrossed from everywhere from Roxbury, Dorchester, Mission Hill, to Mattapan and Hyde Park. And it's been a very good morning. Thank you for having me.
I'm glad to have you here. And I wanted to get you on, and I was, they'll drop the flyer, all that later, but I wanted to publicly declare my support for you while saying, Representative, and I think one on the surface and priority, it's just important to say I don't vote or live in the district. But the other piece is, in Boston Poly, folks will be like, well, how's he saying he would vote? If I did live in the district, I would vote for you. And so I had thought about, having you on and checking in, but also I unfortunately was made aware that there was some incident at one of the polling locations this morning. Is there anything that you need to clarify and say, or are you good?
One, I'm good, but I just want to make it very clear. I've been going through harassment for years, and it's never okay. It's never okay for anybody, whether you're in a leadership position or not, to continuously be harassed, not professionally, but personally, that impacts your professional work. No one should be afraid to go anywhere in this city. No one should be frustrated or annoyed that you're constantly facing degradation and libel. Much of what I've been harassed with just isn't true. And I just want to say to the people of the 5th Suffolk and the 2nd Suffolk, which I'm a candidate to be a senator, I have lost my grandmother. I've lost my father. When I ran, I lost my brother. That's 3 big losses in my life in 5 years. And we went through COVID-19. We went through a racial awakening. We went through a housing and economic crisis. And you know what? I survived and still
I'm
thrived.
still here. You better
I'm
not.
still here. I've delivered, even though I'm not a lawyer or a policy wonk. I've delivered 5 key bills in 3.5 years. I'm at a pace to beat many people who have gone down in history as being legislative powerhouses. I've delivered millions of dollars, not only in earmarks, but through state line items and federal money redistributed to my community. I've done constituent services at such a high rate that I'm one of the only freshman legislators and sophomore legislators that has 2 aides, because my office is that busy. And I've championed the causes, and you just mentioned it a minute ago, whether it's gun violence prevention, birthing justice, ending mass incarceration, police reform. You can thank me and my people for working so hard at the State House in the last 3.5 years. And I just say all of that to say that I was not moved. I was not deterred. I even doubled down on my focus for my community. So although I'm continuously harassed and have to go back and forth to court, people are not well. And we need to get people the mental health support that they need and they deserve. And I love my people. And one of the things that I will never be is a person who won't give people grace and mercy. And I feel that I've given grace and mercy these past 4 to 6 years. And now it's time for me to stand up for myself and stand up for women across the board, particularly Black women. And here, I just want to say something. It's not a First Amendment right to continuously harass someone not based on their work. If people don't like me because I've done police reform or another piece of legislation, or because I haven't responded quickly to a constituent issue, it's okay. Hold me accountable. But if you're consistently telling my family negative things, it's not appropriate. My father died 7 months ago. I'm still in mourning, still in grief. And I've been working really hard to push through that. And when someone says to my family, I hope you get cancer and die like your father, it's unacceptable. It's unacceptable to harass my staff, that many are in their 20s, who don't know the history that we may have personally, is not appropriate. You know what I mean? Like, I'm lifting as I climb, but I don't want anyone that works for me, anyone who's in my family, to continuously deal with this. But let's focus on the real thing today. Today,
come on,
you're
because
voting on a senator.
all that you've been through, Representative, and you know this from a biblical standpoint, you know it from life experience, you know it from being a Black woman, is that as we started and said, you're still here. And so it is, and to whom we were referring, they know where I stand, and I've tried to intervene and stuff in there and whatnot as well. So it's not quote unquote, any secret there. The pieces though that you have been through this, and not only you, and I don't know what your exact time is, but we are in a climate right now to where Black and brown power in the state house and city hall is increasing. And so not only you, but our city councilors, our congresswoman, and others are constantly being bombarded with threats and allegations and all this other stuff. And so I definitely had to mention that. And where you got time, and you spoke to it a little bit, but you know,
it's okay. I want to just say to people, and I thank you for your support. You don't have to like people. You don't have to be best friends. I'm not running to be the best friend of all the neighbors I have in the second Suffolk. There's 180,000 people. There's guaranteed people who I'm not their cup of tea. But when you're electing a senator for the first time in 11, 12 years, that is of the blackest district in the state, it's important to not only be voting for someone who's going to lead with integrity, who's going to pass legislation, get you financial resources, but someone who's going to be different, a new set of eyes. It's 2022. We've inherited Blue Hill Ave. We've inherited mass incasts. We've inherited so many social ills in our communities. And I'm a lifelong Roxbury person. It's not okay. It's not okay that we die 30 years ahead of people who are 5 stops away on the #1 bus. It's not okay that we have 5 times the asthma rate. It's not okay that Black women are losing their babies 6 times the rate of white women in the Commonwealth that has arguably the best hospitals, best institutions of learning, best biotech. It's all about racism and racial justice. And I want to be sure that people know that when you're voting for me, you're not voting for someone that just is about integrity and being responsive and being responsible, but it's someone who also will show up when it matters. When my brother was killed, like, my family can't shield themselves from that. You know, my family got sick with COVID and my grandmother died. She died a month into COVID and she raised me. And I've been dealing with that stuff because my title cannot shield me. I'm still a homeowner and a Roxbury girl born and bred who is now, you know, I really feel like this is a calling on my life to serve the people of the second Suffolk from Reedville to the South End. And so it's so important that I don't stay there. But I wanted to acknowledge that and just say to anyone, I am not afraid. I am not afraid. I have been through fires before. I've been assigned mountains so that I can show people that they can be moved. But today, you are voting on a senator, and the Senate and the Massachusetts House, that's where the laws are being discussed, okay, that impact your everyday life. The DOC, unemployment, the RMV, the MBTA, your health care, all of the things that these cities, take the money from the state and the federal government to be able to facilitate a better experience for you as a citizen of the city, it all comes from our state government. And so it's incredibly important that people don't stay home, whoever you're voting for. Whether you're voting for me or someone else, there are 4 capable people in this race. I believe that I'm uniquely positioned as a person who has deep roots, who's delivered. I've taken the 3.5 years I've been at the State House very seriously. Even though I've been through all of that, and we've been through all of that, I still showed up and showed out every day that I was at the State House to say, no, this is a Black and brown issue. There's no bigger Black and brown issue than ending mass incarceration. Look, all my brothers went to jail, all of them. My father was incarcerated. My oldest brother and my dad were deported. Okay, it took me 18 years before I saw my birth father and my oldest brother. 18 years. And mind you, I have resources, I work hard, but it still took me almost 2 decades before I could go and see my brother and father. So I know what it's like to have family separation. I've been visiting jails since I was a little girl and a teenager. I know what it's like. And that's why I visited over 350 incarcerated people at 11 institutions.
I saw that some brothers, that don't, typically participate in, punditry or whatever. But you actually got an endorsement from a group of brothers that are incarcerated for your work with them, correct?
Yes, because I helped to pass jail-based voting. What people don't know, and in Massachusetts, when you're incarcerated with a felony, you're still disenfranchised.
Yep.
But when you have a misdemeanor or you're in pretrial detention, you could vote. But they don't have access. Those 8,000 to 10,000 brothers and sisters have not been given the same access to the ballot. Why does that matter? In our liberal ass Massachusetts that likes to lie about being a blue state, where it's much more purple than it is blue, we send very left U.S. senators to D.C., but then we keep voting for folks that are very moderate or conservative here. We send Black people to jail 8 times the rate of white people. Okay, so when I go visit those people in jail, even though Blacks and Latinos make less than 25% of the state population, they make 65 to 70% of the incarcerated population. And 85% of those people are not serving long sentences. They're coming back into our community. So for me, it meant when I was going to visit my brother who was incarcerated and got out 10 months ago and then went back and has challenges with addiction and mental health. When I'm visiting those people, I think of them as like my brother, like my father. And I've made it my life's work that people understand one big thing. We are not our worst days. We are not of the worst things we've ever done. We are not the worst things that have even been done to us. And the reason why I'm saying that is because a lot of times when Black and brown people are ostracized on the internet, people think it's funny. Everybody is worthy of redemption. Everybody, including those that have done something very horrible and they've been incarcerated. And so I've never been to jail for myself, but I understand that people need to be humanized. Our Black and brown people have faced a lot in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, and I believe that I'm a person that's made a commitment. There's no other legislator that has visited that has worked with more incarcerated individuals. And Brother Alameen, when they wrote the bill, and I helped facilitate it in the House, and it just passed before the session ended. That's to show you the brilliance, okay? That's to show you the unity that is behind bars. And that's sad that that is happening there, but not happening in our community. So I just think that for me, it's all about taking people closer to power, not being perfect. I am not here asking for people to vote for me because I always get it right. What I'm asking for is that people know that I'm a vessel to a greater democracy. And every day I ask myself to help one person so that their life is better. One person. That's why brick by brick is my slogan, because it's one thing at a time, one person at a time, one family at a time, to ensure that they get the representation they deserve.
So, Representative, I know you typically go in faith-based spaces and whatnot, but I know during election season, there's a little couple of visits on Sundays. Yes. My God, were you up here preaching today? And not make light of the issues associated with the advocacy and success that you've done in the advocacy. That's why, I thought it was important to be very vocal about, if I was in the district, I would vote for you, because this seat is a seat. There's only 40, and there's not a lot of us.
There's only Senator Lydia Edwards, and we have Adam Gomez, who's the first Latino. And there's only been 3 Black women in the Massachusetts Senate since ever. Yep. If I win, I not only become the 4th Black woman, but I become the first Cape Verdean woman in the country and in Massachusetts. And that's a big deal because Cape Verdeans have been here for well over 200 years. And Black people have been here since 1637, documented, and Indigenous people have been here for thousands of years. And so we have never had the representation. But why it matters that regardless of where you live, you should pay attention to this race is because the 2nd Suffolk district is the Blackest district in the Commonwealth. Whoever wins this race is not only the senator for 180,000 some odd people that live between Reedville and the South End, Hyde Square, and Roxbury, where I live, and along the Blue Hill Ave corridor. That is going to be the man or woman that is going to stand in that body to say no. To say, no, we're not going to incarcerate more people in the Commonwealth. Yes, we will end life without parole. Yes, we will pass the Safe Communities Act. Yes, we will pass more birthing justice legislation. And yes, show us the money. We don't need equality. We need equity. So we need more. And so it's very important that people pay attention, because whoever is going to be in that body come January is going to be in a body where there's another Black woman and another Latino male and nobody else. Everybody else is white. So when they talk about Oscars so white, government so white.
There was a hashtag, the State House so white.
Okay? State House so white.
And so let me ask you, because someone either text me or you can tell me right now, because you know we're organic. Tell me what your end time is, because I know you're doing a lot. Thank you for coming into this community platform. Yeah. Are there any other races or candidates that you have publicly come out endorsed? I will allow you to share that.
Yeah, Andrea Campbell. She is the best one for Attorney General. Yeah. There is a neck and neck tie between a woman who's put $9 million into her own money. Sis got bread, because I ain't got nothing. I might put $9,000 into something.
Can I just interrupt to say this is one of the reasons why a lot of young professionals and whatnot, and some elders and seniors
and parents and don't run too, because it takes so much money. It takes so much time to raise money. I've outraised everyone in this race, but from everyday people. I've raised over $285,000. And it's come from people, 200 people have never even given to a politician before. And I've gotten the most people to donate from across the district. And that's very important. But Andrea Campbell, she deserves. Come here. Procurador General, Andrea Campbell, because the Attorney General is the state's attorney. Everything that you go through in the Commonwealth civilly, not criminally, civilly, whether it's consumer protection, whether it's wage theft, whether it's
you can flow in and out of Creole. And come on, because what we'll do is clip this and make sure that Cape Verdean speakers see this on social media, so you can go back and forth.
You know, I do speak another language. You know, yo parece Latina, yo no fala Latino bien, but I just want to say Español bien. I just want to say to people that there are over 100 languages in Massachusetts. I'm a first-gen student here in this country. I'm a first-gen young person. We can't keep acting like there's only monolingual speakers and we're supposed to represent only one culture or one language. Massachusetts and the city of Boston has over 100 languages, and people speak Cantonese, Mandarin, Haitian Creole, Cape Verdean Creole, Portuguese, Spanish, and the list goes on. And that's why it's important for us to even try to speak in other languages. So Andrea Campbell, Attorney General, Tanisha Sullivan, our Secretary of State. We don't have to look to the border. We don't have to look only to DC or Georgia. We're good in Massachusetts, always pointing the finger at other people being like, oh, they got a problem. No, we got a problem in Massachusetts. We got a problem in Massachusetts that our system is antiquated. We should have same-day voting. We should have felony enfranchisement, regardless of what you're in jail for. That is your right and your privilege to cast a ballot in this country. And so we have problems here that we need to work on. And so both Tanisha, who's my soror, shout out to all the Deltas on the front lines, and Andrea Campbell, I've been very public about those two women, because
hold on, side note, are you going to advocate for Andrea to try to pledge in the graduate chapter? I just had to
if you're a Delta, you know you never talk about who and what and where. You got to just go to the events. And I worked hard to get my letters, and I hope everyone works hard to get theirs. But I just want people that are listening, do not let rain stop you. And sisters and brothers who throw in their name, it's super important. It's super important to support them, because this is hard, y'all. This is not easy. Being a leader is not easy, but also you take time away from your family, your friends, you sacrifice a lot. to make sure that other people's lives are better, because I believe that when other people's lives are better, my own is improved, my own community.
That's where the equity is. And I would say, and I have to constantly, I'm going to be more intentional about this, and I have to remind myself often, all of this is for one common goal, and an equitable, improved quality of life for everybody. Our equity does not disregard white people and this fear that there's going to be what it is a little bit of that guilt, and there's this fear that there's going to be this spirit of payback. No, we just want to, not chance, we just want an equitable we just want equity, period.
Let me tell you something. Brilliance and opportunity, brilliance is everywhere, but opportunity and access to that opportunity is
that's
not.
right. That's right.
I went to a good high school and got to a good college.
Hold on. I was going to call you counselor, rep, or should I get ready to say
Sharon?
senator?
I've been calling you. Shout out to Miss Cornelius. Please go out and vote. It's very
important. Her ready to go vote now.
Yeah. If your job doesn't allow you to take your break or a break to go vote, that is an institution that you should call upon the State Ethics Commission, because everyone should be able to go vote. I'll end here because I've got 3 minutes.
I see you getting calls in Texas stuff.
Yes, I'm getting a lot. You can tell. I've been up since 6 a.m. I've been at this for 271 days since I launched on December 9th. I love my community, and that means all of it. Not just where I grew up, but where I've been at the Gallivan Community Center serving young people. I ran community centers in Roxbury. I frequent places in Hyde Park. My friends opened Park 54, Tasha and Andre, shouts out to them. I have been in this city my whole life, and I've been giving it back and giving my energy back, even as an entrepreneur. A lot of people know that I was a radio personality and a promoter for many years. At the same time, what people didn't know is I was also a youth worker.
Yep.
And folks should know that I worked from 8 a.m. all the way to 2 a.m. for most of my life, because I had to work 2 jobs to survive and make it here. And I gave back then. I wrote checks to people who wanted to take kids on college tours. I wrote checks to people that were taking kids to DC and New York that had never been. I love my community. I lead with love.
You were the grant leader for our teen cafes. This is going back a few years, but remember,
Black Ministerial Alliance.
Yes. Yep.
I have always put my talk into action and put my money where my mouth is and my mouth where my money is. And I just want to say to the people of this city, I am not perfect. I am still growing and learning my job, but I have been committed. Since I walked into the State House on January 2019, I have put my foot on the metal. I've passed 5 key pieces of legislation. I've gotten millions of dollars for low threshold housing for mass and caste, for small Black and brown businesses, for organizations doing the work in my district. I've done thousands of constituent cases. I've elevated causes like gun violence and birthing justice. And I just want to say to the people of the Second Suffolk, go out and vote today. Vote your conscience, vote your heart. There's multiple capable people in this race, but I believe wholeheartedly that I'm the one that can represent everyone. A Haitian grandmother in Hyde Park, a gay couple in JP, a young person who just came out of jail in Roxbury and Dorchester, a homeowner in Mattapan, a student in the South End in Fenway. Make sure you go vote. And I love y'all and thank you for this opportunity. I will not be deterred. I am not scared of anything or anybody. I do believe that the love that people are showing me is because I've shown love back. Yes. I've respected people. I've been responsive. I've been responsible, and I've led with integrity and love. And I hope folks know that this is a very important race. Statewide races matter. Your next governor will determine who are secretaries and appointments, judges, the people who will make sure that we get the equity we deserve. And so make sure you go out and get that. So don't forget feeding our community members during the pandemic. I did that.
That's what that's Dalita. And so she wanted to remind you that you were doing that.
Thank you, Nikki. Nikki's like, it's the confidence for me. The reason why you have to walk with your chest out and your head up, those of us that are Black women know that we always got to keep our head high, regardless of the bricks that they throw at you, regardless of the bricks.
Wait. The bricks that they throw, are those the ones that you're building brick
by brick, you know? I'm dodging them like, whoa.
No, you catching them. You catching them and then putting them up in the wall. You better come on here and
You
preach.
know why? Because here's the thing. Like, our communities are suffering.
Yeah.
And we shouldn't have to suffer. I'm a low to middle class person that, you know, brick by brick build my career. My life in one generation was different than my mother because of education. And I want to make sure that we know we can't wait another generation to free the people that have been incarcerated unjustly. We can't wait another generation to fix Boston public schools. We can't wait another generation for Black people to be able to buy a home in Roxbury, Dorchester, Mattapan, Hyde Park, instead of being forced to buy in Stoughton, Randolph, and Brockton and Milton. Yes, Milton is even cheaper now than Boston. That's not cool. So thank you for everyone that's listening. If folks want to reach out to me today, you can call me on my personal cell phone, 617-602-7785. You can call my office at 617-652-0022. If you're not sure where to go vote, you can log on to lizmiranda.com/vote if you need to know any information about your polling location. And remember, I'm with you. I got your back. Just got mine today. Polls don't close to 8 p.m. and then head over to Prince Hall to party with a purpose as we take this home.
Senator, it's going to be kind of dope to really call you that, not just as an affirmation of faith, but in real time. And so, Liz, personally, I'm proud of this. I am so proud of you. And
thank you.
Anyway, we'll talk. I know you got to go do other stuff. Thank you so much for coming.
Take care, everyone. Make sure you go out and vote and get your whole hood to go out and vote too, okay? Take care.
Everyone, that was our soon-to-be State Senator Elizabeth Miranda that was with us this morning, sort of an impromptu time to check in. So as she said, please go vote. Please go vote. Please go vote. Please go vote. Just a quick review of those that I am voting for Governor, Maura Healey. For Attorney General, Andrea Campbell. For State Secretary, Tanisha Sullivan. For District Attorney, Ricardo Arroyo. And I'm going to park there for a minute. Criminal justice reform is on the line. I started to share earlier, got a text from Kevin Hayden's campaign from the majority. What is it called? The Massachusetts Majority PAC. So I did a little bit of research. That's Charlie Baker's PAC, where Ernie Bach and a couple of developers and whatnot are giving $40,000, $20,000 and all that into this PAC that is backing Kevin Hayden. And a lot of the majority of those folks that are supporting that PAC, that put money and sent me a text to tell me to vote for Kevin Hayden, don't share our values. So, I felt that. Sorry. Criminal justice reform is on the line, Jesus. And so it with all the distraction and we will name and center the re-traumatization that these women have been through because white supremacists and law enforcement and the capitalistic law enforcement industry that makes money off of our backs and does job security for their nepotizing ways of grandfathers, fathers, and sons and nephews being COs and police officers. Listen, we got to pay attention to what's going on. The politics in Boston will never, after that city council hearing the other day, and after we get a Black state secretary, and after we get a Black attorney general, listen, politics in Boston and Mass Poly will never be the same. And after we get that sister up in the state Senate to join Lydia Edwards and the other young man she referenced to, I'll behave. So anyway, I'm tired, Jesus. I got a 12 o'clock call, so I got to get off of here. Crap. Thank soon to be Senator Elizabeth Miranda. I will also say that I have to give credit to folks. Nika, I've known Nika way before she got started, when she was like an intern just out of college at Emmanuel Gospel Center. Like, we checked in. And so, you know, I have to give due diligence to naming a lot of the work that she's done, even through her health issues and whatnot. So I do have to, just as a friend. to name that. And so please go vote today. Nikki, yes, ma'am. Love you, sis. Please go vote today. Please go vote today. Please go vote today. And remember that district attorney race, that's major. Don't blink it. And I'll say something here. I hope I don't get in trouble for it. They'll text me. But I checked in with I'll frame it like this. One of our main municipal leaders. I asked, though they rescinded an endorsement, I'll just say, well, they are voting for ongoing improved criminal justice reform. And if you can read between the lines, you know what I'm saying. Now, if I get a text late, you know me, I'll ask right now. But there's some folks that unfortunately, let's keep it 100 due to I got to get on this phone call, 12 o'clock, Zoom. Anyway, I'm getting off of here. You call, I ain't messing with you, Sharon. That's my brother and I love him. And he knows where his, I think he's a few months older, where his little brother stands. Thank you, Lasagna. You keep us in prayer down here. Folks, I got to go. I got a 12 o'clock Zoom to get on. Don't forget this Friday, I'm emceeing Uncle Thaddeus's Black Joy release which will be featuring yours truly emceeing. Also, Amandi Music will be there. Eve C, they'll be there as well. And also DJ by DJ Y Sham. And so, yep, that is it for me. If anybody reaches out or anything major goes on today, we'll be back on. But otherwise, we'll see you this evening at 8:30 p.m. Have a great afternoon, everybody. Remember, go vote, go vote, go vote, go vote. Call 10 people and tell them to go vote. Go vote. Don't let the rain keep you. Listen, trends have shown that anything that combats Black and brown people from going to vote on election day is just an issue. I'm going to say something here. You heard Liz talk about the rain in her hair and whatnot. Listen, nobody really likes the rain. We don't like the rain. Criminal justice reform is on the line. We can get a Black woman in for attorney general. We can get a Black woman in for state secretary. And it's not just about identity politics. I believe that their identity has left them more open and understanding and to see the concerns, but also know through life experience how to speak to suggestions to remedy the problems in the offices for which they both are running. Similar to Liz, similar to Ricardo. All right. I got 2 minutes to get on this call. Y'all have a wonderful day, and we may see you later, but we will definitely see you at 8:30. Peace.